Welcome to Devotion Time, the C Files. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to like and subscribe. And we're going to be in Psalm 143 to start out this reading. We'll be in Psalm, Proverbs, and Ezekiel. Psalm 143, of course, Psalms are songs written, put to music, and they have, of course, they stir emotion or they're written out of emotion. Psalm is shows the real emotional human side of humanity. And it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to be emotional, as long as we understand the proper place for emotions. Well, David had a lot of it, a lot of emotions. And 143 is an earnest appeal for guidance and deliverance, a psalm of David. And it's usually a cry out of joy or of depression or something. It's there's some kind of an emotional state that David is in when he writes these psalms. Not all the psalms were written by David, but you get what I'm saying. Let's start with verse 1. Hear my prayer, O Lord, give ear to my supplications. In your faithfulness answer me, and in your righteousness do not enter into judgment with your servant. For in your sight no one living is righteous. How many different ways does the Bible tell us that God is righteous and we're not? For the enemy has persecuted my soul. He has crushed my life to the ground. He has made me dwell in darkness, like those who have long been dead. Therefore my spirit is overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is distressed. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all your works. I muse on the work of your hands. I spread out my hands to you. My soul belongs to you like a thirsty land. Selah. Answer me speedily, O Lord. My spirit fails. I do not hide your face from me, lest I be like those who go down into the pit. Cause me to hear your loving kindness in the morning. For in you do I trust. Cause me to know the way in which I should walk, for I lift up my soul to you. Deliver me, O Lord, from my enemies. In you I take shelter. Teach me to do your will, for you are my God. Your spirit is good. Lead me in the land of uprightness. Deliver me, O Lord, for your name's sake. For your righteousness' sake, bring my soul out of trouble. In your mercy, cut off my enemies and destroy all those who afflict my soul. For I am your servant. He's writing this out of a sense of anxiety and depression. He's appealing to the Lord. What's the best place we can go to when we're filled with anxiety and pressure, stress? To the Lord in prayer. Um, just see if I have any other thoughts on this. David always went to the Lord. He didn't go to other people. He went to the Lord, and that really is a lesson to us. Something that I could learn more and could do more. All right, we'll move on to Proverbs. Looks like we're in Proverbs 19. And so that's 29 verses. And let's see what we can get out of Proverbs 19. Now, Proverbs is a book of wisdom, as I've stated many times. And it's a good book to read. Read a chapter out of Proverbs every day. It will really, really guide your life. Pretty soon the guide will open up these Proverbs to you and you'll begin to understand their application. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one who is perverse in his lips and is a fool. Also, it is not good for a soul to be without knowledge, and he sins who hastens with his feet. The foolishness of a man twists his way, and his heart frets against the Lord. Wealth makes many friends, but the poor is separated from his friend. A false witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies will not escape. Many entreat the favor of the nobility, and every man is a friend to one who gives gifts. All the brothers of the poor hate him. How much more do his friends go far from him? He may pursue them with words, yet they abandon him. He who gets wisdom loves his own soul, and he who keeps understanding will find good. A wise witness will not go unpunished, and he who speaks lies shall perish. Luxury is not fitting for a fool, much less for a servant to rule over princesses. The discretion of a man makes him slow to anger, and his glory is to overlook a transgression. That's a good one to learn, being slow to anger and overlooking transgressions from time to time. A little grace goes a long way. The king's wrath is like the roaring of a lion, and his favor is like dew on the grass. A foolish son is the ruin of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dripping. Houses and ladies, can you learn that one? That the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. Don't nag your husbands to death. Don't drive them nuts. And men, don't be cruel to your wives, and don't neglect your wife. That's where a lot of nagging comes from. Houses and riches are an inheritance from fathers, but a prudent wife is from the Lord. A good wife is a wonderful thing. Laziness casts one into a deep sleep, and an idle person will suffer hunger. Yeah, I did not provide for my family all these years by being lazy. Just something to think about. I know that many of you were not lazy as well. He who keeps a commandment keeps his soul, but he who is careless of his ways will die. He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and he will pay back what he has given. That is a wonderful, wonderful proverb. When we have charity toward other people, God notices. Chasten your son while there is hope. When is the time when there is hope? When they're young. And do not set your heart on his destruction. A man of great wrath will suffer punishment, for if you rescue him, you will have to do it again. So, how does a man become a man of great wrath? Well, he was not chastened when he was a son, a young son. His father didn't do his job. Listen to counsel and receive instruction, that you may be wise in your latter days. There are many plans in a man's heart, nevertheless, the Lord's counsel that will stand. Yeah, us men, we always want to go off into all kinds of foolish directions because we're driven that way. Restraint is a good thing sometimes. What is desired in a man is kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of the Lord leads to life, and he who has it will abide in satisfaction. He will not visit with evil. Here's a lazy man again. A lazy man buries his hand in the bowl and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Strike a scoffer, and the simple will become wary. Rebuke, rebuke one who has understanding, and he will discern knowledge. He who mistreats his father and chases away his mother is a son who causes shame and brings reproach. Cease listening to instruction, my son, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. A disreputable witness scorns justice, and the mouth of the wicked devours iniquity. Judgments are prepared for scoffers, and beatings for the backs of fools. I'm going to do 20 also, because I think I did 19 the last time, so let's move on into 20. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is a brawler, and whoever is led aside by it is not wise. Yeah, the drunkard is not wise. The wrath of a king is like the roaring of a lion. How many times have we heard kings are like lions? Whoever provides him to anger, I'm sorry, not provides. Whoever provokes him to anger sins against his own soul. You don't want to make a king angry that could end your life, right? It is honorable for a man to stop striving, since any fool can start a quarrel. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Any fool can start a quarrel. Any fool can start a road rage. Any fool can start a bar fight. But an honorable man stops striving. The lazy man will not plow because of winter. He will beg during harvest and have nothing. Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Most men will proclaim each his own goodness. Yeah, I'm a good guy, right? But who can find a faithful man? The righteous man walks in his integrity. His children are blessed after him. A king who sits on the throne of judgment scatters all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have made my heart clean? I am pure from my sin. Diverse weights and diverse measures, they are both alike an abomination to the Lord. Cheating people is an abomination to the Lord. Even a child is known by his deeds, whether what he does is pure and right. Like this one, the hearing ear and the seeing eye, the Lord has made them both. You cannot see and hear unless God gives you the ability to see and hear. And you cannot discern unless God gives you the ability to discern. And you cannot see and hear spiritually unless God gives you the ability to see and hear spiritually. Do not love sleep, lest you come to poverty. Open your eyes and you will be satisfied with bread. It is good, it is good for nothing, cries the buyer. And when he has gone his way, then he boasts. Oh, that car's not worth that price. No, 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 no. Look at the scratch over here on that car. Tires. I won't pay that much for that car. He gets his deal, drives away, and he goes, man, I got a great deal on this car. Then there is gold and a multitude of rubies, but the lips of knowledge are precious jewel. Take the garment of one who is surety for a stranger. Surety has to do with lending with interest. Taking a loan from a stranger, like a bank or something like that. Credit cards. Who do we know in the credit card companies? We don't. So take the garment of one who is a surety for a stranger. In other words, you don't pay your debts, they're going to take something from you. And hold it as a pledge when it is for a seductress. Yeah, be careful of the seductress. Bread gained by deceit is sweet to a man, but afterward his mouth will be filled with gravel. Plans are established by counsel, but wise counsel wage war. I'll read it again. Plans are established by counsel, by wise counsel wage war. When he goes about as a talebearer reveals secrets, therefore do not associate with one who flatters with his lips. Whoever causes his father or his mother, oh, I'm sorry, whoever curses his father or his mother, his lamp will be put out in deep darkness. God sees it. An inheritance gained hastily at the beginning will not be blessed at the end. If you foolishly squander an inheritance, you don't get the full benefit. Do not say, I will recompense evil. Wait for the Lord, and he will save you. The verse, that's a good one. Sometimes when we decide we're going to handle things ourselves, we're going to fix evil ourselves, sometimes that doesn't work out right. It's better to wait on the Lord. Diverse weights are an abomination to the Lord, and dishonest scales are not good. A man's steps are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? It is a snare for a man to devote rashly something as holy, and afterward to reconsider his vows. A wise king sifts out the wicked and brings the threshing wheel over them. I would say that a wise president does the same thing. So let me say it this way. A wise president sifts out the wicked and brings the threshing wheel over them, brings them to justice, punishment. The spirit of a man is the lamp of the Lord, searching out all the inner depths of his heart. Mercy and truth mercy and truth preserve the king, and by loving kindness he upholds his throne. The glory of young men is their strength, and the splendor of old men is their gray head. Blows that hurt cleanse away evil, as do stripes the inner depths of the heart. Right. Let's go to Ezekiel. I have time, so I'm going to jump into Ezekiel. We're going to Ezekiel 29. Remember, Ezekiel was a prophet. He prophesied during the time of the punishment of Judah and Jerusalem when God was going to bring them down. But in this part of Ezekiel, pronouncements are being made against other nations. And in this one, this is a proclamation against Egypt. And this is the third chapter that Egypt is being prophesied that God would punish Egypt. In the 10th year, in the 10th month, on the 12th day of the month, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, set your face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him and against all Egypt. Speak and say, Thus says the Lord God, Behold, I am against you, O Pharaoh, king of Egypt, O great monster who lies in the midst of his rivers, who has said, My river is my own. I read that one before. I remember this one. I remember this one. I'll continue and then I'll do 30. My river is my own. I have made it for myself, but I will put hooks in your jaws and cause the fish of the rivers to stick to your scales. I will bring you up out of the midst of your rivers, and all the fish in your rivers will stick to your scales. I will leave you in the wilderness, you and all the fish of your rivers. You shall fall on the open field. You shall not be picked up or gathered. I have given you as food to the beasts of the field and to the birds of the heavens. Then all the inhabitants of Egypt shall know that I am the Lord, because they have been a staff of reed to the house of Israel when they took hold of you with the hand. You broke and tore all their shoulders. When they leaned on you, you broke and made all their backs quiver. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, Surely I will bring a sword upon you and cut off from you man and beast. And the land of Egypt shall become desolate and waste. Then they will know that I am the Lord, because he said, The river is mine, and I have made it. Indeed, therefore, I am against you and against your rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate from Migdol to Sinai, as far as the border of Ethiopia. Neither foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast pass through it, and it shall be uninhabited 40 years. I will make the land of Egypt desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate, and among the cities that are laid waste. Her cities shall be desolate for 40 years. And I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations and disperse them throughout the countries. Yet thus says the Lord God, at the end of 40 years, I will gather the Egyptians from the peoples among whom they were scattered. I will bring back the captives of Egypt and cause them to return to the land of Pathros, to the land of their origin. And there shall be a lowly kingdom. It shall be the lowliest of kingdoms. It shall never again exalt itself above the nations. For I will diminish them so that they will not rule over the nations anymore. No longer shall it be the confidence of the house of Israel, but will remind them of their iniquity when they turn to follow them. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. This part is Babylonia will plunder Egypt. And it came to pass in the 27th year, in the first month, on the first day of the month, that the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, caused his army to labor strenuously against Tyre. And, oh, by the way, Tyre, I said was off the coast of Greece. That was wrong. That was a mistake. It's actually off the coast of it's a seaport in the area where Israel is in reality. Um, anyway, his army to labor strenuously against Tyre. Every head was made bald and every shoulder rubbed raw, yet neither he nor his army received wages from Tyre for the labor which they expended on it. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, surely I will give the land to Egypt, of Egypt to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. He shall take away her wealth, carry off her spoil, and remove her pillage, and that will be the wages for his army. I have given him the land of Egypt for his labor, because they worked for me, says the Lord God. In that day I will cause the horn of the house of Israel to spring forth, and I will open your mouth to speak in their midst. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. I'm going to continue into chapter 30. Egypt and her allies will fall. The word of the Lord came to me again, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, Thus says the Lord God. Well, woe to the day, for the day is near. Even the day of the Lord is near. It will be a day of clouds, a time of the Gentiles. The sword shall come upon Egypt. A great anguish shall be in Ethiopia when the slain fall in Egypt, and they take away her wealth, and her foundations are broken down. Ethiopia, Libya, Lydia, all the mingled people, Chub, and the men of the lands who are allied shall fall with them by the sword. Thus says the Lord, those who uphold Egypt shall fall, and the pride of her power shall come down from Migdol to Sinai. Those within her shall fall by the sword, says the Lord God. They shall be desolate in the midst of the desolate countries, and her cities shall be in the midst of the cities that are laid waste. Then they will know that I am the Lord, when I have set a fire in Egypt, and all her helpers are destroyed. On that day messengers shall go forth from me in ships, and make the careless Ethiopians afraid. The great anguish shall come upon them, and as on the day of Egypt, for indeed it is coming. Thus says the Lord God, I will also make a multitude of Egypt to cease by the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and he and his people with him. The most terrible of the nations shall be brought to destroy the land. They shall draw their swords against Egypt and fill the land with the slain. I will make the rivers dry and sell the land into the hand of the wicked. I will make the land waste and all that is in it by the hand of aliens. I, the Lord, have spoken. Thus says the Lord God, I will also destroy the idols and cause the images to cease from Noph. There shall no longer be princesses from the land of Egypt. I will put fear in the land of Egypt. I will make Pathros desolate, set fire to Zoan, and execute judgments in No. I will pour my fury on Sin, the strength of Egypt. I will cut off the multitude of No, and set a fire in Egypt. Sin shall have great pain. No, no shall be split open. Sin and No are actually cities that he's talking about there. And No shall be in distress daily. The young men of Avon and Pi Bethseth shall fall by the sword. And these cities shall go into captivity. At Tahaphanes, at Tahaphanes, the days shall also be darkened, and I will break the yokes of Egypt there, and her arrogant strength shall cease in her. As for her, a cloud shall cover her, and her daughters shall go into captivity. Thus I will execute judgments on Egypt. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. Egypt was where Israel would always run. Instead of running to the Lord, they would always run back to Egypt. And that's why God is bringing this judgment. Proclamation against Pharaoh. And it came to pass in the 11th year, in the first month, on the seventh day of the month, that the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Son of man, I have broken the arm of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and see, it has not been bandaged for healing, nor a splint put on to bind it, to make it strong enough to hold a sword. Therefore, thus says the Lord God, surely I am against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and will break his arms, both the strong one and the one that is broken, and I will make the sword fall out of his hand. I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations and disperse them throughout the countries. I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon and put my sword in his hand, but I will break Pharaoh's arms, and he will groan before me with the groanings of a mortally wounded man. Thus, I will I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, but the arms of Pharaoh shall fall down. They shall know that I am the Lord when I put my sword into the hand of the king of Babylon and he stretches it out against the land of Egypt. I will scatter the Egyptians among the nations and disperse them throughout the countries. Then they shall know that I am the Lord. Let me say this. Every nation throughout the history of the world that has forgotten God faced trouble, they faced judgment, they faced difficulty, trials and tribulations, economic downturns, war, all the troubles that sin comes into the world. That's what they faced. Because the temporal grace of God that would normally cover them if they honored him is pulled back. The restraining grace of God that stops these wars and stops this trouble within a nation is pulled back, and the trouble comes. The nation that forgets God will face consequences. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time here on the C Files.